Hey y'all, I'm Massimo. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be talking about 365 Days and 365 Days This Day, the sequel to the 2022 film that hopefully you've forgotten about, but unfortunately I remembered its existence today because it's trending on Netflix. And for some reason, like a crazy person, I decided to watch the first film and the second film both today and tell you about the film. I did both of these activities sober, and I was like, no, there's no way I can recount this non-existent plot to you and whatever the heck that goes on in both these films to you sober. So we'll be drinking today our bucket list Cabernet that cost me $7.99 from my local grocery store. Let's just do a quick little top off. If I didn't say it, I'm Massimo. Please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. I do commentary, lifestyle content, and whatever else I think of. I think I'm funny and entertaining and amusing, and I hope you feel that way too. So alright, enough about that, let's get into this video. First, I'm going to talk about the first film, 365 Days, which is based on a book by the author Blanka Lipinska, who's a Polish author. The first thing to tell you is the movie is an English film, but it has Italian and Polish sprinkled throughout. But I guess because both the main characters, one of them speaks Italian, the other one speaks Polish, and they don't understand each other, they speak English together, but like they'll talk to separate side characters. So there's a lot of subtitle moments, but fortunately that's not too bad because there is literally not that much dialogue in this film. Like barely anything, if I'm really being honest. In the opening scene, we're in a fancy boardroom where we meet Massimo, who is a rich person doing rich things, and they're all talking about something, and maybe it's an armed burglary, a robbery, a kidnapping. I literally have no idea. The thing that they talk about in this film never comes up again. I think the sole purpose of it is just to show a dichotomy between Massimo and Lara, our love interest, as she's also in a boardroom by herself. And then they do this scene where they are both going back in their back seats of a car. They're being like chauffeured, and they seem lonely and sad. And I'm like, okay, they're just two lonely, lost souls looking for love, but they're actually not. So Lara gets home and she has a boyfriend or husband who's sitting on the couch, and he's just chilling, and she's feeling kind of frisky. So she's like, yo, let's try it. And he's just like, no, your heart is weak. And you had a long day of work, you must be tired. And I'm like, okay. And she obviously hates this man. I'm like, okay, maybe he's like being disrespectful. But then he has the nerve to be like, yeah, and we're leaving tomorrow, we have lots of packing to do. And it's like, sir, you have been sitting on that couch all day and you couldn't pack for this trip. So now I hate him, and now I agree that, like, yeah, Lara should not be with this man. Also, this heart condition they mentioned, like, I don't think it ever comes up again. No, it comes up once, but like it's never a key part of the plot line, but like it's mentioned multiple times. It makes no sense. Like, what is this mysterious heart condition? I don't know. As we're getting more into our plot, so basically Lara is going on a trip for her birthday to Italy or Sicily, I don't know, but like Massimo, our main character Mel, is Sicilian. And the main thing to know about Lara is that she is sexually repressed, and Massimo is a arms dealer, drug dealer, some type, who is so used to getting anyone he wants at all times that he cannot handle being slightly rejected, and just uses his powerful influence and his like good looks and chisel abs to get everything he wants. But like those abs are something. Not gonna lie, I'm with it. One night, Lara gets into a fight with her boyfriend, which she does multiple times. Do not know why she's with this man at all, but she runs into Massimo and he's like, oh, you lost, baby girl. It's literally disgusting, made me want to gag. Like it's not stopped my reflex of me, like, oh, it was disgusting. And I think we're just trying to get to the point where Lara breaks up with her boyfriend, I hope, at this point. But Lara's best friend, whose name I do not remember, says no. And they're at the pool, just chilling, and we're just trying to build up with how like much of a douchebag Lara's boyfriend is, who is unnamed this whole entire film. And her best friend is just filming at the pool Like when Lara's getting into an argument with her boyfriend and she pushes him to the pool and it never comes up again. And I'm like, is this really your friend, girl? Like, she is like reporting you to keep receipts. She's crazy. But then I remembered, I also do this. So it's like, isn't that crazy? But you just have to sometimes. So she's really upset and she goes back home and showers and she's like in a robe and she just, for some strange reason, oh girl decides the best idea is to wander around a city she has never been into in her life, wearing the flashiest pink robe like a Victoria's Secret model. Just because she's sad, I don't know, just doesn't make sense. Gets kidnapped because of course she gets kidnapped. This is kidnapping 1. We're gonna keep count. There's multiple kidnappings in this series. Just letting you know, this is kidnapping 1. Laura wakes up in this nice room, like, okay, cool, maybe it's a hotel room. Nope, it is not a hotel room. It is like this nice villa castle. It is gorgeous. The room isn't locked somehow, so she's like wandering around the villa, and then like she sees a giant painting of her face. You know how much time it takes to do a portrait of someone? This is basically premeditated kidnapping. But of course, lo and behold, guess who she sees? Massimo. Yes, Massimo. And he's just like, I've been obsessed with you for 5 years when I saw you dancing on the beach the day my father was murdered and I was shot. And you were the only thing I was thinking of. I mean, sure, like I read my fair share of toxic romance novels, don't get me wrong. It's my bread and butter. I love that stuff. Like to heaven and hell. Like, I love that stuff. But like, this isn't my problem. This isn't my problem. You saw me. You could just kidnap me because you're obsessed with me. Like, if everyone was obsessed with me, kidnap me, I'd be like, I don't know, kidnap? Whatever. I'm digressing. You have, like, in a very deep, mysterious voice, I wish I sounded like that. Like, you have 365 days to fall in love with me. Otherwise, I'll let you go. And I'm like, okay, that's a long time. But I guess this isn't even the movie. I guess it made sense. Like, and I watched this movie when it first came out in 2020, and I do not remember why it was called that. So I guess it makes sense. I guess this day is because, like, maybe the second film takes course over like 1 day, or I don't know. I'm confused. I'm confusing myself. And that's the plot. And he's like, I will not touch you until you ask me to. But then he proceeds to like grope her very heavily and aggressively, and he does this multiple times without permission. So I'm guessing he just considers like some grabbing to be not I don't know. It's just make it make sense. It's just something you realize that it never actually happens. Like, this movie never actually makes sense, but we are committed. We are committed to this journey for you. There are some side plot scenes of characters who are introduced, but they're undeveloped. I do not remember anything of the outcomes that came from them. So I'm not gonna remember. I'm not gonna repeat it. Maybe you'll see some clips here showing you some random characters I do not know, and some scenes I have no idea what their meaning was or their purpose. But here they are. Okay, and then he takes on a shopping spree because that's how all millionaire mafia bosses do to entice you. Like, I mean, like, if I was just being kidnapped and a guy was like, yo, let's go to the Yves Saint Laurent store, let's go to Gucci, let's do some Supreme, I'd be like, sure, I'm okay here. Can I take my stuff back with me when I'm done being kidnapped unless you murder me? And all my trauma? Sounds like a good time. Trade off. About a third way through the film, they have a fancy dinner and he feeds her food that she's requested, and he opens up to her about like a little bit about his life, what he does for a living, and he lets her make a phone call to her mother, and I'm guessing this was like enough for her to be like, I guess you're a good person. Also, a problem, my gripe is like, you do not know how far they are into this whole year. It could have been a week, it could be a month, it could have been 300 days in, we would not know. I guess she feels like he's doing okay, so she goes into him with a shower and get our very first steamy moment. Steamy, get it? Because the shower. It's a scene. I'm like, okay. You're delivering what you promised a little late, but it's alright. It's cool. Spoiler though. the second film very heavily leans into the sexual aspects of the relationship. To the point that you're like, what even is the relationship? So after that night, she wakes up and like we see her being like kicking and screaming to get on a plane. She's not happy because she's getting trafficked again. So I'm gonna call this kidnapping situation number 2 because she's being transported inter-border rules. So I'm sure it's another crime. And like she's literally up in there like straitjacket laced to a chair. And our Sir Massimo, who said he would not do anything to her without her permission, proceeds to do something to her without her permission. Especially because you know they're up together. So it's like, what's the point? What's the point of like having someone in a relationship that's like so traumatic and so toxic, knowing that they're up together? It's like, why am I even trying here? Why am I even upset? They finally get to the destination, wherever the heck it is. And she's upset because she was just kidnapped again. Even though she thought they were making progress, so he like ties her up. You think he's about to do something with her permission. He sort of does, but no. You know what he does? You know what Massimo, our sexy Sicilian mafioso, does? He makes her watch a nut while another woman goes down on him. But then next night, as her revenge, they're going to a nightclub, and she's wearing this dress, and she looks banging. Like, she looks amazing. This girl, her hair ponytail is like it. She's looking great. And everyone's like, Lara, you shouldn't do that. He's gonna be upset with you. So she goes to the club. She attracts male attention. This guy is rubbing up and down her a bit. Massimo's like, what the F? And him and his other bosses pull out their guns and they're like shooting, like they have him up. And I'm like, okay, cool. There was no way this night could have ended well. She knew that. She literally knew that. So, girl. The next morning, they're on a yacht. And this is where I kind of get upset. Not because she's on a yacht, but like, so they're gonna fight because he was just about to shoot someone. He has not still really admitted that like he's a mafia boss, but like she knew that. I do not know why she was like, I really don't know what you do. Like, girl, you know, you knew. He was not at the office from 9 to 5. You knew what he was doing. You knew. Trust me, you knew. They get in an argument and he like pushes her off the yacht by accident. He dives in, saves her, and I'm guessing she's like, and like, no, okay, Massimo is bad, but Lara is awful for no reason, like, awful. She's somehow okay with this, and the next morning or day, she's like, yo, that was hot. They have some sexy fun time in the shower, and they cross the yacht. So this is like my favorite scene from the film because water. And yeah. And there's this masquerade, and Lara gets upset because Lara is always upset, but like one of his exes, I think her name's Anna, because I saw a girl named Anna like when I was going through filming the film. Names are not a thing. I will say that multiple times, but names are not a thing. She's like, oh yeah, I used to have him, ha 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 ha. He could be mine if I wanted, but like, ha ha ha. Lara's upset, and she marches off. Massimo takes her to the bathroom, and they proceed to have like public unsanitary sex. If that's your vibe, go for it. But like, just from the counter, anyone can walk in. You're not like, you were just upset. I don't know if this is the best way to solve your problems, but if you feel that way, I'm not gonna stop you, but like, girl. But like, the thing that bothered me the mostest is going to have to be that like all of her clothes come completely off. She's nude, ass to the counter, and he has his clothes on. Like, why do we do that? Like, why do we do that? I'm for equitable nudeness. So next day, again, all these time jumps, like, I don't know if it's next day, it could be next week, it could be next month. I do not know, because I never tell you when time has changed. Anyway, next day, she's riding in the car, and like his Massimo's bodyguard are like besties. Like, oh, well, okay, gotta call him. Like, he like has to drop her off and transfer her to another car. She's like, what happened? She gets unceremoniously sent back to Poland. Her best friend's like, girl, where you been? I thought you was dead. You never called me. She called her mom and her best friend. And I would like to think that my mom would be worried, but I think my best friend would also be worried too. I think she'd be even more worried. Shout out to you know who you are, because I'm going to tell you to watch this video. Can I have one more view count? Thanks. All views matter. Please like and subscribe. So, because Lara's down and depressed because I guess she loves Massimo at this point. Her bestie's like, no girl, we're going to get you out. So they go have a spa day. They get her hair done. And Lara gets this really bad blonde bob cut wig. I'm not a fan of it. Bad choice. I hate it. I hate it. But they go out and guess who's there? Lara's ex. I forgot to mention this. But like Lara was like, when Massimo first kidnapped her, right? Laura's like, my boyfriend will wonder where I am, like my family, my friends. And he's like, well, I already wrote a letter to your boyfriend telling you're going back to Poland and you're moving out. Oh, because Massimo also showed photos that her boyfriend was cheating on her. Not a great character. I like, not saying any of this is right ever, but like, okay, sure. But like, anyway, old boy's like, yo, I'm sorry, I apologize. Tries to follow Lara back up to her hotel room, and guess who's there? Massimo. Old boy goes away. Massimo and Lara get at it, looking over whatever random city they are. Grunts a window. Cute, hot, whatever, sex. And then the next morning, Massimo proposes to Lara, and this girl says yes. Massimo did not apologize or give any reasons why he sent her back. I have also never seen these people have a conversation, but he's just like, yeah. No, Lara's just like, yeah, love.